One of the cool things about our little watch world is that there's always new and exciting watch brands to discover. I recently learned about Casio and Gazelle watches through Instagram. The founder, Osman, is a physician by trade, but a watch lover at heart and a talented graphic designer. Like many of us, of course, during the pandemic, he found himself more immersed in the world of watches, so much so that he founded his own watch brand, Casio and Gazelle. His interest in Islamic art, architecture, and design are the inspiration for these intricate watch dials, and quite frankly, they're very unique and really work well as these geometric designs are well balanced. Through his research, Osman discovered that Muslim engineers during the Islamic Golden Age also made a lot of early contributions to horological engineering. He thought this could be a compelling origin for the brand concept and came up with the name Casio and Gazelle, which is named for one of the early water clocks designed by the inventor Kashif al-Muradi in the 11th century. The dials are 3D printed, and that's the best method to mimic the effect of stonework or mosaic on the dial. Today, we'll be taking a look at two of their quartz watches that only cost $96 each and the new mechanical version that costs $245. These watches, without a doubt, are an incredible value and are a great way to own a watch with a very unique dial. No need to spend crazy amounts of money, especially if dress watches are not the primary style of watch you collect, just like me. Let's get into the specs of these watches. The cases are constructed of 316L stainless steel and have a 50-meter water resistance. The case measure in at 39mm and they're 46.3mm from lug to lug and have a 20mm lug width. The quartz version has a thickness of 10.6mm, weighs in at 51 grams, and the dial is protected by a mineral crystal. The mechanical version has a thickness of 11.7mm, weighs in at 63 grams, and the dial is protected by a sapphire crystal. The push and pull crown is located at the 3 o'clock and measures in at 6.3mm. An interesting thing to note is that the company chose to not sign the crown, instead made it a little darker shade of steel. I'm not really a huge fan of that. I really would like to see some engraving there to make it feel more premium. The case has a nice shape to it and does feature a mix of brush and polishing. For the price point, I think this is done very well. On the quartz version, the case back has been engraved with the company logo, and it's a really nice touch. However, on the mechanical version, we find a display case back, and around the case back there is some information about the company. Of course, the highlight for all these watches are the dials. They're striking in person and really over-deliver. These dials are very dynamic, and thanks to the 3D printing, the texture plays with the light and are unlike any dials I've seen before. However, there are a few design elements that just simply don't work for me and make the dial look a little unfinished. For instance, the lack of a logo or any type of writing on the dial. Also, I'm not a fan of the white finishing on the hands and applied indices. I would love to see a mix of polishing or brushed steel mixed with that white finishing. The quartz version doesn't feature a date complication, but the mechanical version does, and I love the date wheel. It's black with white numerals. Anyone that knows me knows that I love Lume. Unfortunately, these watches don't feature any, and the lack of any polishing on the hands and indices mean that visibility in low light conditions is non-existent. The quartz version is powered by a Miyota 2035 quartz movement. This movement has no jewels, has a frequency of 32,768 Hz, and it has an accuracy of ±20 seconds per month. The mechanical version is powered by a Seiko NH36 automatic movement. That movement can be hacked and hand wound, features 24 joules, it beats at 21,600 beats per hour, has a power reserve of 41 hours, and it's accurate to -20 + 40 seconds per day. Both of these watches are powered by power horse yet utilitarian movements. Kudos to the company for decorating the rotor on the mechanical version. That's a nice touch. For non-watch lovers, seeing a mechanical movement in a watch immediately makes a watch look 2 times more expensive, and for watch lovers, it's always cool to see the micromechanics. Now for the most disappointing part about these watches, the straps. Although they're made from genuine leather and feature a quick release system along with a signed buckle, they feel a little inexpensive. But keep in mind the price point of the overall package is great, and the fact that the lug width is 20mm means there's a ton of strap options on the market. On the wrist, both of these watches feel extremely light and truly feel like you're not wearing a watch. but when you glance at your wrist, the dials are hard to miss and put a smile on your face. My wrist measures in at 6 7/8 inches. The proportions of the case are simply perfect for me. Overall, these watches punch above their price point. If you're in the market for a dress watch or looking for a unique watch to gift someone but don't want to break the bank, these watches are a great value proposition. I mean, the watches are not perfect, and I really hope the company makes incremental revisions with some of the recommendations I made in this video. Let me know what you think about this watch brand and these styles. Will you be picking one up? Thank you to everyone that has supported the channel. You keep me motivated to keep this journey going. As always, be safe out there and always stay humble.